therefore, to introduce the next panel, the next group here, with the theme Planetaria in Africa, presented by Yinka, Ajiboye, Daniel Chu Owen, Matthian Hoffmann, and Susan Murabana Owen. Okay, Susan, welcome and take it away as session lead.
Thank you very much. Just a bit of change in our presenters. Perhaps if I'm allowed to share my screen. I'm Susan Murabana Owen, and can I share my screen? Yes. So just to give you a quick introduction to our session, which is Planetaria in Africa. I'm very excited to say, since we met last year at the IPS meeting in Toulouse, we now have collection of planetariums within the continent, and it's under African Planetarium Association, of which I'm the president, and we have a board. This was after we met last year at Iziko Museum to form a collection of us to support each other and to share the ideals of IPS. So we are also an affiliate of IPS, and through our association, we've been able to get support and partners within the continent. One is African Astronomical Society, and Jamal, who's going to be presenting, is also the president of African Astronomical Society. As well, we've also gotten support from the South African government, and during the COVID pandemic, APA was able to support some of the projects within the continent and out towards the COVID emergency as a partner with Office of Astronomy for Development. So one of the beneficiaries was a planetarium within the continent, and this planetarium wants to create content for Arabic-speaking countries. So I won't talk much. I'll let our presenters go ahead, and first will be Yinka to talk about what's happening in West Africa.
Okay. And good morning, everybody from Nigeria. My name is Yinka Ajiboye, and I am from Afe Babalola University. Our planetarium is a university-based planetarium. Susan, if you wouldn't mind, you could scroll to the next slide. Okay, I'm so very excited. This is actually my first time.
Sorry, that it didn't work, the transition of the slide.
Okay, maybe I share my screen.
Can you see our screen? Can you see our screen now?
Yes, I can see your screen, but it's not scrolling.
Oh, yeah, we're still on one. You want us to go to the next one? Just tell us. Oh,
yes, yes.
This one? That one.
Okay, still not changing.
All right. Why is that?
Stop share.
Okay, sorry.
Who is sharing? It's It is depends who's sharing the screen.
Yeah, Yinka will share.
Okay, can I go ahead and share?
Yes, please.
Can you share your screen?
So do you have my screen?
Not yet.
I don't know if you can see my screen right now.
No, unfortunately not. Susan, do you have a version of the talk? Can you share?
Okay, it's coming.
Okay.
There we go.
It's there.
Okay.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. All right, so once again, my name is Yinka Ajiboye, and presenting the West African Planetarium projects. Our home planetarium is a university-based planetarium, which is in Nigeria, West Africa. That's our planetarium there. It is it has a capacity of about 180. We have a fixed dome planetarium. It's an 18-meter diameter planetarium. Our projection system is a Kappa system. although it's a relatively new planetarium, which was just established about 2 years ago, and the ownership is private. So technically in Nigeria, we have 2 planetaria in Nigeria. There is another planetarium in Nigeria, which is at Abuja in Nigeria. That's at the Federal Capital Territory. The project is actually ongoing. It is not commissioned yet. It is similar to that of Nigeria, also to my own planetarium, which is what you are seeing on your left-hand screen right now. It has a capacity of about 160, but although it is government-owned, because of the bureaucracy in our system here in the government system, that planetarium has not been operational since 10 years ago of its commencement of the work. And another planetarium we also have, which is very much known to this association, is the Ghana Planetarium in Accra. Ghana, I won't speak much about that. I do know that when the Ghana Planetarium colleagues, when they come on board, they will be able to speak more about that. And the one useful information I also want to mention about that is the fact that, this planetarium, even though we have not met physically, they have mentored other planetarium in this region with respect to, so I really want to end this presentation by acknowledging, Susan, can you go to the next slide, please? By acknowledging these 2 great persons, Dr. Hashong and Patricia Hashong, who pioneered the planetarium in West Africa. So the comment you have there is just a comment, a testimonials from people who have visited our planetarium in Nigeria and also in Ghana. I want to say thank you once again for this opportunity, and I'm going to hand you over right now to Chu. Chu, you have the room.
Great, thank you very much. Right, I'm just going to start my timer because I know I'm going to. Oh, hang on, that's. Are you able to play it for me? Can you just press play on that presentation? There we go. So if you can make it full screen. There we go, great. So yes, bamboo, what an amazing plant. It's basically, it's got a similar tensile strength to steel, and about the same compression as concrete. So we've moved into this new place which had a massive garden, and after doing lots of calculations, I worked out that we could probably make a geodesic dome using bamboo, which would be about 10 meters. Our kids got involved. This is some of the process. We had to heat treat it because one of the problems with bamboo is that it does rot. If insects get to it, it's bad. So you've got to make sure it stays dry and make sure that insects don't like it. So that's what we did with our treatment. You can see here, which seems to have been paused on one of the early hexagon designs. You just want to make sure that's playing. Somehow it seems to have paused. This was like very wonky. We had to get them much more accurate. So I got my mum to bring in this, which is a mitre saw from Sweden, all in different pieces. And then I began to make much better pentagons and hexagons, which are the connection points for the struts. If anyone's ever, I'm sure some of you in the planetarium world know all about geodesic domes. So here you can see the concrete base, which we made for it. And after measuring it out, we got our team. This is our team from the Traveling Telescope, which is our company over here in Nairobi. You can see we also had to tie these hubs together because without doing that, we did some testing and threw them around and they would break. So we had to sort of reinforce the design. And then, they need drying out for a few months. Then after that, we start the build process. And you can see here that we're sort of testing it with hammocks, and we had a bit of a group gathering in there. And then we covered it with a material which is very commonly available in Africa, which a lot of these safari tents are made from. So that was our cover. And then we have a backup solar power system, which you saw there. And then we completed it just in time for Susan's birthday, because basically I made it for her as a birthday present. She didn't know that. But there we go. So that's my whiz bang talk. But it's kind of we're quite pleased that we've managed to make it to this point. What we haven't done, and you saw in that one of those slides, was that we had an inflatable planetarium. Now, at the moment, we're using that as our screen. Now, I'm sure all of you guys know that because of COVID-19, having an inflatable is a bit of a transmission hotspot. So there it is. Yeah. So we had to. We are currently designing a new screen, which will hopefully mean that we can have it open. So it'll be effectively an open air planetarium, and maybe to begin with, we'll certainly only be using it at night. We'll like to in the future have it so that we can black it out and move on from there. Right. Any questions later on? Thank you. Over to Jamal.
No,
Nico. Sorry, Nico.
Hi guys, thanks Stu, amazing project. Okay, so my name is Nico. I am the designer and co-owner of Untitled Planetarium. About 3.5 years ago, when I finished my studies, my parents challenged me to design a planetarium for them. So that would be of a budget of around $120,000. And like my dad said, he didn't want a tent, he wanted a permanent structure. The only requirements was permanent structure. It should seat at least 30 people, and it should be situated in our hometown. So I started studying what is a planetarium, how does it work, and I've identified that planetaria work with 3 main components: the structure that houses the planetarium, the screen, and the projection system. And I immediately realized I can't afford this. So I had to improvise, and I decided, okay, I can at least afford 2 of these components. So what I found was, and I'm going to switch here, I found it's basically an affordable housing concept that African guy developed but never got to use. So the idea is to use this inflatable air support, aka the balloon, and then build a double brick layer over this. So I took this design and modified this a bit to be able to fit into my requirements. But I knew I was planning on using the inside of the dome as a screen. So then I save a lot of money for the dome screen. But I knew conventional multi-projector systems won't be able to work on this. So same time, I found the amazing Full Dome Pro system with auto calibration. I'll get to that just now. So that allowed me to build this structure, and the screen isn't perfect, but it's just good enough for the projection system to work on it. So it ended up having a 8.4 meter dome that seats 35 people. I went a bit over budget, but not too much. But I ended up with an amazing product that we were able to build locally. No expert builders, all actually me and my dad built it with a team of local builders. And yeah, we ended up with the 8.4 meter dome, and the projection system has a 4-stage auto calibration that can be calibrated from an iPad. You push a button, you walk away, 15 minutes later, it's perfectly calibrated. Okay, so that's all for me. Over to Jamal from North Africa.
Well, from one extreme to the another. Let me share my screen right now. Please put up the screen sharing so I can do mine. Okay. Oh, where it is. Oh, sorry. Yeah. 1 minute. I go back to mine. Okay, good. Do you see what? No, not yet. Okay, screen sharing. Yeah, here it is. So thank you, Nico. Thank you all. Indeed, I am from the northern part of Africa, indeed, and I am from the city of Constantine, precisely. I am, yeah, so here it is. One of the greatest assets of Africa is, of course, its dark sky. Here we're talking about the sky of planetarium, so it doesn't help much. Indeed, as far as the planetarium are concerned, Africa is not as bright as this. It's in fact darker than the dark sky. There's not many of them. We have seen some showcases here in Kenya, in Nigeria, in South Africa. Yet it's a desert as far as planetarium, and we have certainly to work on that. So let me, sorry, I have to go back to the again. I forgot to put the sound. Let me do the sharing again. Where it is. arrêter. And sharing. And okay, I cannot do that right now. Back. So let me show you what's going on as far as the few planetariums that there is in North Africa. I'll be talking about the fixed one and then some portable one. The fixed one, I'll start with Tunis, the one in the Cité des Sciences at the capital. It's a large one, a well-attended one, and also a very functional one. It's an 18-meter one. In Egypt, there's quite few of them, large ones, but the best and the most beautiful and the most perhaps up-to-date is the one at Bibliotheca Alexandrina in Alexandria, 14-meter, but really it's a beautiful shows are there. In fact, the IPS conference was there in a few years back. Morocco, there's a one single one in Araba, next to a few kilometers from Rabat. It is also an observatory, and it is not too functional really, as far as I understand. In Algeria, there is two middle ones, one in Sahara, in Gardaya, the city in the middle of the Sahara. It's an 8-meter one. It's a good one. It's worked very well. It's a recent one, and another one in next to the capital, Algiers. So that's the one in the second one. Indeed, it's part of a larger structure, a scientific center. In Tripoli, in Libya, there's two. One in Tripoli is not working. It's one of the most beautiful, in fact, possibly the most beautiful planetarium in Africa when it was working. And there's another one in Benghazi. I don't know the status of it. Let me just finish with the mobile planetarium. Of course, if the fixed one are not too many, then the mobiles one are doing the shows, the job. Here it's in schools, at university settings, in cultural centers. And I'm going to finish with this video of 1 minute of one which is from the Meknes in Morocco by Abdelatif Zridi, who is a planetarium maker and a planetarian. So let's see if it works. And if this, here it is. So enjoy. Explaining how the heat is taking place in the sun. Every second, every tick, 4 million of tons of hydrogen is turned into helium. That's his explanation. Here it is. Thank you. That's all. Back to you, Suzanne.
So yeah, thank you. I had to look for presenters from within the continent just because I'm so inspired by what's happening all over the continent, and it's a very diverse continent. But yeah, I don't know if you have time to take a few questions. I know we started a bit late.
Well, thank you so much. What a great, well, how many great ideas are there for you? Especially a lot of comments were made for the bamboo geodesic dome. One question was if it's fixed or portable.
Yeah. Sure. So it's, I mean, the dome itself is actually all tied together with what's called a secure shoelace knot for any of those knottaticians out there. But basically, it is fixed, but it's not fixed to the ground. You could, if you had enough muscles, you could lift it up, and we did actually do one lift up to twist it slightly. But at the moment, we're using our inflatable mobile one inside it, so it's like a weatherproof shell. And it's effectively a big tent, which, you know, at the equator is fine because it doesn't get too hot or too cold. So, you know, being the same temperature as outside is actually okay here. But yeah, it's totally movable.
Yeah, and we intend to build a screen in the next few days so that we don't have to use the portable inflatable planetarium.
Maybe weeks.
Yeah.
Can you also comment on the fabric of the screen? That was also a question.
Okay, so we for a while we've had some photographer projection material. We got 6 or is it 8 sheets of like 3 by 6 meters, and the trouble is I'm not a what do they were tailor, so I'm not, neither Susan, no, and so we're struggling with getting the right pattern, and it's a big amount of things to cut. And we just kind of ran out of money, if I'm honest, to sort of to get somebody who knows what they're doing to actually cut all that stuff for us, just as COVID happened. So we were in the middle of making that more of an outside structure. But actually, because we hadn't done it then, now that we're moving forward, I mean, a lot of planetarians probably have to adjust how they have their shows. So in a way, it's beneficial for us. You could see it like that, that we haven't done that yet, so that we can factor in keeping it all very airy and sort of open. So yeah, we have got, it will just be a fabric projection for now. Although in the long run, I really want to do a woven bamboo, you know, you get these bamboo baskets, like wicker baskets, like have big hexagons and pentagons of those, which become your screen. That will need some testing first.
Okay, I think you started like a new brand here. A lot of people are interested. I mean, we're running a bit short in time, but there are more questions. There were a lot of questions, and also to Nico, but it was almost solved. What kind of seats are those? Question by Patty and also Mark Webb, and the question was like a gravity chair. They found some on Amazon still, but can you comment on the seats again, Nico?
Thomas is
on the seats, Nico.
Hi, sorry, I was muted. Yes, I actually also ran out of money, and I wanted to import some very nice seats from Turkey. And I ended up with these. This was my second backup. So it's very high-end camping chairs. I tested about 7 models, and I preferred the Australian, what's it called? I'll send the brand just now, but it's an Australian brand that I ended up with that I could also purchase locally.
Okay, thank you very much. There are also questions about how many planetariums are open and closed in Libya and Morocco, but maybe you can please look at the chat and answer those questions because, well, we finished somewhat in time, and I thank you all so very much. This is really inspirational, your session, like those before, but it's very special, those new ideas coming from Africa, and we're looking forward to seeing you and visiting you. Thank you very much, Susan, and the whole session.